Hi everyone, I am here with Khaled and we're going to check out his mango grove. Well, it's pretty nice. This whole place is a nice, really kind of balance between a house and a grove. It's pretty awesome. So Khaled's been growing, how long have you been growing mangoes here?
Since 2018.
2018?
7 years.
Oh yeah, 2018. So that's a good amount of year. So we're going to just kind of talk back and forth about his experience. Anything you would love to share with the audience would be great. And we just kind of talk and discuss and check out your mango trees.
Oh, thanks. A lot of this is, it's not just a labor of love, but experience, because it's always growing, changing. As I learn different things of how to make this work. So this is actually a prime example. This is a pina colada tree, not this branch here. This is something a little bit different. But this is pina colada, and this is actually a great one to start with for a couple of reasons. One, when I walk out the house, this is a beautiful tree to look at. Second, it's a fantastic tasting fruit. I think my first memory, the first fruit I had off this tree was Bricks of 36. It was like at Thanksgiving, and it was phenomenal. Blew my mind away. Not just the bricks, but the flavor of the mango itself. This is a late flowering variety, late season variety. So we also, in California, it'll continue to flower later when you might be closer to the end of powdery mildew season. So if you don't like spraying, you don't like doing all that stuff, this is one that can still bear some mangoes for you without the trouble of flowering. And the other thing is, it's a slow grower. So it has, you might say, well, that's kind of a bad thing. And I would say, yeah, but this is kind of a testament to the fact that it's a slow grower, but it can still do well here. So let's start off.
I love the leaves on this.
Yeah, these are very characteristic.
Yeah.
Very, very characteristic. So pina colada, has narrow leaves and tight.
Tight in the nose. It
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of
nose.
like ice cream and Iman Passan. But these look like a little bit more ornamental. This one, I like the coloring on this one.
And very perky, very lively. So this is a rootstock. Rootstock seedling. So I got a lot of really neat seedlings or seeds many years ago, and I just scattered them about. And some of them I know exactly what they are, and some I don't. I don't know what this one is. So part of my seedling project was to plant seeds and then graft over, or in-arch graft. But somewhere along the way, I wanted to taste the fruit as well, and actually have some very great tasting seedlings in addition. So this is one of those seedlings here. And
Has it ever bloomed yet?
It bloomed. One of these seedlings on this side bloomed this year, but it didn't hold fruit.
Okay.
So next year should bloom a lot more. And you can see here, I put pina colada. This is a pina colada graft.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'm a big fan of side grafts.
The side veneer grass.
Yeah, and you can see this is one tree with here's a pina colada graft, and then there's a big pina colada graft right behind it. So this whole canopy is pina colada.
So are you gonna kind of top work these other ones to pina colada too, or are you just kind of leaving?
I am, like this one I started here. There's a graft here that's starting as well.
Okay.
But I want to taste the fruit at least, so I don't want to fully convert it over until I try the fruit and judge.
Now let's talk a little bit about this.
And you'll see a tag here. This is not the tag of this variety. I actually from Plantagram, and so this is not slander. I bought an ice cream mango from Plantagram, and it was not an ice cream mango. You could tell by the leaves. But I liked the flavor anyways. I didn't know what it was, and so the plant started to have dieback. So I cut off the green part and I grafted it here, but it died like a week later. I think by the time I saw the dieback, it was too late. So anyway, I had tagged this just to save. There's the graft. It died.
Oh, okay. So
a week later. So
you lost that variety then. Yeah. That mystery variety.
Whatever Plantagram ice cream that is, that's done.
Now I noticed like the rootstock that you have here. It's like a lot of rootstocks coming out. So what's your approach to that? I noticed that you have been planting a lot of seeds around the original plant.
Yeah. So initially the idea was to in-arch graft, and I did that to a couple early on, but they didn't take. And it's not that I gave up. I just noticed that the trees, actually with a little bit of care, the trees started to grow well. This was around the time when people made a lot of hype about turpentine. Turpentine is bad, this is bad, don't do, and so I kind of fed into it. And after a couple of years, I realized the turpentine actually is fine. The rootstock seemed fine, and people were hyping Laverne Manila at the same time. And I had some Laverne Manila, and they were not doing quite as well. And it was just like, I think all the hype we put around the rootstock is maybe we should probably pay more attention to the other factors that cause our trees to struggle. And for me, that was actually dieback disease, letting them fruit too early. And so we've got actually good examples of that in the yard. So some of those things, and I don't want to say they're fallacies, but I don't think they're as important. So let's say, the big things. We have a couple big branches that have dieback, right? So that'll hit us in March and April, but you can get it throughout the season. And I think that's a big factor for why, you order trees from Florida, they get here, then a year or two later they die from dieback because the trees haven't gotten that big. They get dieback, you lose the whole tree, so you just blame it. Oh, it must be the rootstock. Rootstock is bad.
Okay.
As opposed to addressing the root cause, which is this is dieback. This is a known disease, and there are some factors you could get around it, but you need the tree to grow faster than it's dying, or to have enough healthy branches. And if our trees don't grow so fast in California, sometimes you're in the red.
Yeah. Do you have, is there any turpentine on here that's still
Yeah,
up?
so the original, this is the original, sorry. The original Pina Colada tree is this one.
Okay.
This one here. This is on turpentine.
Got you. Okay.
Pina Colada, slow growing, right? It branched early, kind of dwarfish structure. I think I got this tree in 2019, so 6 years old. Small, has a nice structure, but you can see compared to some of the seedlings I planted, right? They want to grow straight up. And then when I grafted them over, they're pretty heavy growers. They're very top heavy. But even still, they'll branch, but they don't want to branch down low compared to the Pina Colada. Low graft on turpentine, it's really stretching sideways. So that was one thing with turpentine Manila. The other thing I noticed with, if you take the care of the trees, you don't let them fruit too early, because as soon as they fruit, they stop growing, or at least that branch stops growing. It takes a lot to get out of it. So for us, you'll get, with our weather, even the little juvenile trees are going to start to flower when they shouldn't. They hold fruit, they get a lot of disease, they lose the fruit. Well, then you might only get 1 or 2 growth flushes per year. Then you get the dieback, then you lose everything, right? You really need it to be able to power through as much as it can. So, most of us understand that it's the small tree, don't let it fruit. But a lot of the trees will try and fruit anyways. And so sometimes, despite your best efforts, they will do so. And so the mango kind of has self-defeating behavior.
Yeah, we get like such a short growing season when we let it fruit, right?
Yeah.
It's just the fruit is like taking up all the time for the whole year.
Yeah, and so like if you're not on top of it, it's going to fruit, and then you've lost. So that'll contribute to dieback. And then the other thing with Laverne Manila, I've got some good examples. I think some of them make good rootstock, but some of them spaghetti or form these octopus limbs where you graft, and then the graft refuses to grow, and it'll just grow all these skinny limbs around your graft instead. And so I've noticed that on Manila specifically.
I've had that happen, and my approach to that has been like, because I've grafted before and it fails, and then it would kind of send out all these limbs, and then try grafting again, it fails again, and then it just kind of messes up the shape. It just kind of goes awkward after that. So going forward, I kind of graft, it fails, and I kind of give it some time to rest, and I'll temper graft like maybe half a year later, and had more success that way with it. And I noticed that at least with the Laverne Manila, like I feel like I could still, I know the turpentine and Manila rootstock is still debate about how it is, but I feel like you could do a lot more with Manila. Like you could butcher it, right, and it won't die on you. But sometimes the turpentine, I could attempt several grafts on it, and then it just doesn't like it and it dies for no reason.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure too, because it's a lot of that flowering early in the beginning that causes all the issues where it's just things start flopping, things doesn't want to grow anymore, and then they start catching diseases. I've experimented with like multiple rootstocks, and I've been hoping like there's some root grafting that occurs that might help it.
Yeah.
Because some of the less vigorous tree, maybe that kind of gives it some bit more energy. Because I had some rootstock, like I have like this 30-year-old turpentine tree. It's the size of it's been like 6 feet for the most of its, like less than 6 feet, like 5.5 feet for like most of its life. I started planting a bunch. I planted one alfalfa next to it, and the alfalfa started getting really big. So in the last 7 years, it's like really big, and then the turpentine started kicking. It started like growing aggressively. So I was like, maybe there's some kind of root grafting going on, but I haven't experimented enough with it. So that's why I was really interested to see how yours been doing. Because when you look at the roots of the mangoes, it's almost like a spider web, right? It's like webby, and it seems like they would easily just kind of graft onto each other. And maybe some of the seedlings give it a bit more vigor, especially on the less vigorous one, but it's just a theory.
That's a good point. I was actually hoping the trunks would fuse over time.
Okay.
Almost like a slow self grafting.
Oh, I've done this. I had a poly seed I kept together, and as it aged, they kind of moved away from each other.
They moved apart.
Yeah,
but I
moved
wonder if you can
apart.
scrape the bark down
And then
on both sides, and then just kind of tape them and let I wouldn't. You could do when they're small. For all the effort we put in, I wouldn't do it when they're small. I'd kind of let them get a little more hardy.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the hope. But that experiment has worked.
I think it's successful. It looks great. Pina colada too is like such a slower growing tree. This is like such a beautiful and healthy tree. I haven't seen one that looks like this.
And look at all the new flushes, right? New flush. And this was, so one of the things I did earlier this year was when I sprayed, and I got some mangoes to set for some of the branches set fruit, but I had a lot of the dead fruit, the dead panicles. I started brushing them off, thinking they would, I had read somewhere, do that so you can knock any disease inoculant down. So I started to do that, and then I noticed that my little pea-sized mangoes are falling off as well.
Oh.
So I said, okay, they're too. You've probably noticed even with the mangoes, they could be this big. You just touch the branch, it falls down.
Yeah,
it seems so fragile.
Especially there's some, like you can see it's been together. It's like a nice size, and then there's like this yellowing near the stem tip, and I was like, oh no, hope it's not gonna drop.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you just touch it and it drops. So now I'm just like, I learned, fine, just leave it alone. If it's got enough disease, it'll figure itself out.
Yeah.
But from the little mango sets that I had that I didn't knock off, so let's say, so if there are two panicles, one had a mango here, this one had nothing, I'd knock this off. Next day I find this one is fallen off, the whole thing. It's almost like by going like this, I moved the whole tree, and then the whole thing fell off.
Oh wow.
So and what I noticed was, well, let's say this one sets only one fruit, and there are 20 or 100 dead flowers here.
Yeah.
Those 100 dead flowers don't spread disease to the fruit, right? That fruit just kind of keeps powering through. So I think next year I'm just going to leave all the panicles on. I mean, this is a great example here.
Yeah.
This is Venus, right? And you can see still some leftover remnants, but it didn't cause any trouble. I mean, this is a little sunburn here, but leftover. I didn't have to cut or chop or do anything here. This is growing well on its own. This is another kind of experiment for me here. So I started to get some fruit drop. It can happen, or it does happen, but we got a couple random really, really hot days in May, so pretty early in the season before I was watering more. And so I got a noticeable amount of fruit drop, and then I start to get fruit splitting. So I started to experiment with, well, what happens if I don't pick off the fruit that are splitting? So what I started to notice, not a big experiment, was if I see a split fruit and I pull it off to save resources for the tree, a couple days later I find another split fruit, then another one and another one. It was driving me crazy.
Oh,
so finally,
that is interesting.
I said to myself, let me just leave the split fruit alone and let that suck water from the tree as like a sink. The more I take off, maybe the tree's then sending more water to the existing fruit, then all of a sudden you have the same amount of water going to fewer fruit. So then those split. Since I've done that, I haven't had issues with splitting.
Oh, that is
thankfully.
interesting. That's a good
Just an observation.
yeah, good observation.
Yeah.
Because the Laverne Manila produces a bunch of these
Clusters. Yeah.
right? And then this they don't tend to split that much, but people don't really pick them. Like when you have a lot of cluster, no one's going in like, hey, this is cracking, I'm removing it. They're just leaving it there, and maybe it is causing less cracking going forward on the rest.
Having so many. Yeah, I have a Giselle that has a large number of fruit on it, and every couple days I'd see one split, then another split, then another split. Like I said, it was driving me crazy. This tree is a really neat one because it's actually two separate trees, but one of them has a double rootstock. So one of them was inarched.
Okay.
And it was growing like crazy, and it was labeled lemon zest. Lemon zest used to be this branch. It ended up dying.
Oh, okay. Your lemon zest label's still there.
Yeah. It was a friend came by. He was going to harvest scions when I wasn't here, so he came and labeled things for himself, so he knew. But anyway, so this is a multi-grafted tree. It's got peach cobbler. It's got sugarloaf. My sugarloaf had a ton of flowers on them, but they had a mango malformation disease. And in hindsight, I probably should have just left it alone. But I snipped off all the flowers, and since then it's just grown some, but it's not hasn't made new flowers since. Mango malformation disease, you get tight clusters of the flowers, and so the flower panicle doesn't form correctly. You don't get as many, but they still work. They still set fruit.
Yeah, they're like these short, like flower panicles,
Short,
right?
stubby.
Short, stubby, and like dense.
Yeah.
Versus like these longs, like a nice one is like 12 inches long and stuff sometimes.
And so I was, some friends told me, "Oh, cut that, get that out of your yard." And I was reading, "Oh, you got to do this, and that." And then afterwards, the more I read, the more I was like, well, it's really a commercial disease, right? Because it can cut back on your yield, but I don't need thousands of mangoes. I just need some.
Yeah.
And if my branches are small, I just need one or two on that branch or that cluster.
Yeah,
I
just
don't need
like-
the whole thing to take. So the jury's still out as to what I'm going to do with that in the future if it happens again. But I got some peach cobbler on here. I have Malika on one side. But mainly this was Venus here. This is a sugar loaf, and this sugar loaf I got at the same time as the pina colada. You can see it's supposed to be a more aggressive grower, but this one I let fruit every year. So by contrast, this is the sugar loaf tree, and it's the same age as a pina colada, and it's supposed to grow a lot faster. But I keep getting tempted by fruit. I let it set fruit. And then it stalls, the growth stalls, it gets cracked, gets damaged in the wind, something happens, then I get dieback, I have to cut back here. So this is a great example of how fruit can really slow down the development of a tree, because at this point this tree should be as tall as I am, maybe taller. So I actually, it didn't have any fruit on it earlier. I had stripped all the fruit off, because I thought the mango malformation came from this tree. This was the source, so I cut off all the blooms. It bloomed later, and it only had one, and I was like, fine. I left it alone. So I still make mistakes.
You ever thought about like what you did with the other trees on the ones that's kind of struggling a bit?
Planting more?
Yeah, planting more roots.
That's a great idea. I've got a sugarloaf seedling. I should probably just plant it next to it. Thanks for a tip. That's in my mind, but it never clicked. I never put two and two together for this particular tree.
I think we're all like experimenting with lots of stuff. Like everybody I talk to has their own experiments with mangoes, and you know, some stuff works in some areas, some stuff doesn't work. Oh, nice! This is awesome.
Yeah, there's some nice ones on the other side. We go on the other side of it. Some nice clusters here. Some hiding back here. And what's really nice to see in terms of the health of this tree is, even with some fruit, it's still, right, some branches have fruit on it, but some of the non-fruiting branches are putting out new growth. That's what I like to see, to make sure that the health of the graft is still good.
Yeah,
that there's at least some growth still.
That's absolutely true. Like when you have fruits and it's still putting out vegetation, it's usually doing really well.
And then here's that peach cobbler that broke off. You see?
Oh,
See the part that broke off? And then it put out new growth just under it. So all this is new this year. The peach cobbler, pretty aggressive grower. Here's another peach cobbler. These are mango buds for people who are not so familiar.
Yeah, like when it's swelling, this is the perfect time to use it as a scion.
And here's another branch here. Growing long and tall, so I'm going to probably pinch these off and get it to branch a little bit more.
Nice. Yeah, and this is the multiple kind of roots.
You see them, but one of them is a double rootstock.
Yeah, that one right there, yeah, I can see in the back.
You'll see it kind of forking in.
Very cool. Yeah, it's nice to see what's become of these, because I'm doing this with a lot of my stuff, just kind of putting a bunch of seedlings and rootstock together. But I don't know what's going to happen to it in the future. It's just good to see how it ages and stuff.
Now this was lemon zest on one side, sweet tart on the other. And a lot of people poo-poo lemon zest. That's going to be like the theme of today. But this is all lemon zest. The sweet tart side died many years ago. This is all lemon zest. I had a lot more fruit, but a lot of it split and fell. But there's still some on here. Not as impressive as my other lemon zest tree, though.
Would you say lemon zest has been the most challenging to get fruit set out of all your varieties, or just like one of the ones up there?
For me, it's the one that is emblematic of the problem that we all face growing mangoes. Right? You could see the sulfur that I sprayed on here. Right? It's still there, right? Because for me, lemon zest blooms early. It's the first thing to bloom. I have some Egyptian mangoes and some Indian ones that'll bloom in the fall. So they have kind of a weird pattern. But lemon zest, when our mangoes are going to flower, if everything's flowering in March, this is flowering in February. So if you wait until you see flowers and then you spray, it's too late. Or usually that's your warning, okay, get ready so you can get because the first set of flowers might be already infected. It's too late when they emerge. But you can spray for the second set or the third set. But the lemon zest, not only does it flower early, it's a short flowering time. I'd only put out 3 flushes. You know, February, maybe first week of March, and then for me it's done.
That's a good observation. One good thing about that though is that like those kind of patterns, the trees tend to be more vigorous, right? You get a lot more vegetative growth.
Yeah, and you can see this one has outgrown sweet tart. The sweet tart half is gone. So it's a good, and even I have another lemon zest here. It's got a lot more fruit on it. That one, I remember losing a big trunk one time, like a third of the tree. Right? You think, oh, you lose a third of a tree, it's a disaster, it's going to die. The tree's just fine. It's powered through, it's grown back. And so that's one of the things I like about lemon zest. The whole idea came because we grafted some trees for the club. We had orange sherbet, lemon zest, this and that. No one bought lemon zest. And I thought to myself, I was like, everyone's scared of it. But to me, this was the highest bricks I had last year.
I think people are scared of it. Like, it has a reputation. It has a reputation, lemon zest.
But the fruit is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing food. It's like it's in my top 3 of fruits, and but it has that reputation of being so horrible. This is very interesting observation. Now, what do you think of? Because lots of people are still working out like what's the best variety to have. Some people are kind of going with in terms of like managing the blooms. Like some people think, hey, maybe I'll get the most earliest variety and I could get that fruiting and ripening before the end of the year. And some folks are kind of going with later varieties, hoping like it blooms later, it sets fruit, but maybe it doesn't ripe by the end of the year. What's your opinion on that? What do you like about that?
I think you could still get it to mature and ripen before the end of the year, so long as you don't wait for the June blooms, right? Like if you all your other trees should at least have bloomed in April, maybe May if they're really stubborn, right?
Right.
But even then, that's got like 6 months until Thanksgiving.
Right.
4 of those months are going to be pretty hot. Right, so you gotta make your way through June, make sure they don't burn and crack in July, and then in August you get them to size up. Right. With consistent watering, not too much, not too little, just consistent watering. They size up, and then you wait it, and then you have to wait long enough. I have a Gary seedling that I waited. I think I saw fruit. I picked it in July. This is when I first started, like 2 years after I started. I thought to myself, oh well. I ate Gary in June in Florida, so July, the weather's not that different. It's just as hot, should be fine. And I had it, and I was like, oh, this is disgusting. And I left the tree alone. And then same thing, around Thanksgiving of that year, I found one other fruit. I pulled it off, and it blew my mind away. Because the Florida Gary I had was kind of disgusting. It was overripe, it was yellow, had anthracnose all over, it was overripe. And so it just blew my mind away, and I was like, oh, this is the season you gotta pick. That's when I had the pina colada. That's when I had my lemon zest. If we walk around, I can show you some other great mango examples, and we can kind of come around to it. So I think if you get a known heavy producer that is relatively disease-free, it's relatively disease-free, you should be kind of set. I love this tree. I got this tree from a friend on the forum. It was for sale. It was small. It was a graft. It was supposed to be Pineapple Pleasure, Honey Kiss, and one other thing. All the grafts died except for Pineapple Pleasure. To this day, I've never had a Pineapple Pleasure fruit off of it, though. I didn't ask for my money back, but this is the first time it's fruited and held fruit.
Oh, okay.
But I let the tree grow, and I started grafting over it. And you can see just with the heat we've had the last couple weeks, 90s, nighttime it's mid 70s. Right, everything is growing. Fairchild, M4, Angie. I think this is Senorita. There's another one back here. This is Bennett Alfonso. This is Karen Michelle. There's La Habra Sorbete. There's all these things are pushing on that tree. Everything wants to grow right now. And then, can you tell what this is?
What is that? Ice cream? What is that?
So you're stuck on the narrow leaves. This is a pina colada seedling.
Oh.
Right, so I tipped it here, but pina colada seedling, and it might be a clone. Leaves look very similar. It's got a fruit on it. It's a seedling. I planted 4 pina. You see, you see the tree pot still in the ground.
Oh yeah. Huh.
So this is his first year fruiting.
Awesome.
So looking forward to it.
I got one seedling of pina colada. I think it has like 5 or 6 shoots off of it. It's still small. I'm hoping to get it bigger and then see what it does.
I cover the avocados after years of having all sorts of problems with avocados. Now I cover the avocados. But I planted this ice cream tree here. You see, it's got the same narrow leaf structure, but a very, to me, different growth habit. Pina colada, tight nodes, boom, 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 right? Short growth, tight nodes here, right? Whereas ice cream is long, maybe medium-sized growth. It's a little bit bare. Tight nodes at the top, but it's bare at the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom, right? Yeah.
Whereas the pina colada was narrow, slender leaves, but it's, again, tight shoots all the way through. So
now that you said that, it makes it so much easier to identify this kind of bare bottom portion and then kind of the tight nodes on the top.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting flush.
And I tipped it earlier, so it flowered heavily, set a lot of fruit. So I cut all the fruit off. I tipped it, trying to get it to branch. So I got branch. For me, if I could get one more flush this year, I'll be happy. Tree will be out to here, and then next year I might let a third of it fruit, maybe a quarter of it fruit, and the rest tip it again, and just trying to get it to be bushy. If I could get it this big, I'd be happy.
Ice cream is an awesome fruit. I love ice cream. I grafted this onto I'm trying to graft onto a mature tree along with Montpasson, and the hope is, like, you know, that rootstock's like 20 years old. The hope is that pushes all the vegetation and actually, you know, does well and maybe fruit in just like a year or so.
Hopefully. So you can see why when I got the plantogram ice cream, I was like,
not the same, right? They're easy to identify.
Easy to identify. The leaves are very characteristic. You can see how slender they are.
So it's like pina colada ice cream with the slender leaves, but yeah, definitely different growth structure. And now I have to look at them and see if I could identify it that way, because there's also Iman Passan, which has the skinny leaves too.
It does,
and that's like, a totally different fruit too. Nice.
This is Honey Kiss. Now this is actually probably a great tree for California because it's disease-free. It wants to make tons of fruit. This is a branch breaker. I keep picking fruit off and it keeps setting more fruit. And in Florida, it has a reputation for growing sideways like a bush, like a hedge. And you can see that's exactly what it wants to do. You see the main trunk? The trunk's all the way here, and it's spreading sideways. Every branch is healthy. Every branch is growing. It is a slow grower. But despite being a slow grower, it wants to produce a lot of fruit. So last year I got 4, it's usually a small fruit, but I got 4 big size fruit off of it, this size. And again, this is the same age as my pina colada, same age as the sugar loaf. Probably stunted a little bit by letting it fruit, but I didn't actually let it fruit. It just forced itself to fruit. Disease-free, despite holding fruit regularly, it's still growing faster than the sugar loaf.
Oh wow!
And so this is Honey Kiss. It's also a late season mango, so that's kind of a theme, recurring theme about these easy to grow mangoes for us. Behind it here is sweet tart. These are 2 sweet tart seedlings that I think are clones, and the fruit looks essentially identical. So I think it tastes the same, if I recall correctly. One of the hard things with seedlings when you have so many is to, when I get the fruit, is to say, well, which seedling did it come from? So last year I started labeling number 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a good idea.
So that way I know exactly which one it came from. But it's got tons and tons of clusters. You can see it from the other side if we come around.
I can see a lot of fruit on that. Oops. Sorry. Oh wow, look at all the fruits on this.
Go lift it off the ground.
Oh wow, this is loaded.
Yeah.
Are you trace this back to see if it's kind of coming from just one tree, or is it like both trees producing?
So look, it looks like they're fusing. You see that?
Oh yeah.
But I had 4 seedlings here. I know 2 died. 1 died the next season. It's pretty easy, right? You cut it, you pull it out. Next season, the other one died.
Oh, okay.
So I've got 2, and it looks like they're fusing, but they're not really fighting with each other. They're growing. I tip them every so often. But this tree's kind of on autopilot. The damage you see here is from powdery mildew, because we had a really weird June. The June gloom was really extensive this year. So I stopped spraying my trees at the end of May. And so all of a sudden, it's still gloomy, it's still powdery mildew weather. And so all the new leaves that popped up, all of a sudden have powdery mildew. In fact, I still have some leaves on another tree. You can see the powdery mildew.
I still have, it's in August and had like flushes in August. And I still got powdery mildew. It's just like been a weird summer.
Yeah.
Like just this last week has been the only week I felt that it felt like summer.
Yeah.
The rest of the time it has not felt like summer.
It's been a very mild summer. We can come this way. This is my yellow jaboticaba.
Oh, nice. The leaves are here.
The leaves are different. This is actually, even though it's called yellow jaboticaba, it's different than the regular. It doesn't fruit on the main trunk. It flowers and fruits at the tips.
Oh,
and this
okay.
one is a shy bearer.
Huh.
Unfortunately.
I'm not too familiar with it. Does it look round and everything like a Japanese
Yeah,
cover?
it does look round, but it's, I think a completely different.
Mm.
Like I think they're not
Not
necessarily related.
in the same family.
This is a multi-grafted tree. Again, this is 2 trees. Now one of them is Manila.
Mm.
You see that monster graft right there?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Tango. Tango is a lemon zest seedling of sumeshes.
Mm.
And we're all looking forward to it. Just hasn't fruited yet for me.
Has it flowered?
It flowered this year, had mango malformation. They're the ones who told me to cut it. So I cut it. And now, again, so then I cut the sugar loaf. And then I started looking. And then afterwards, I had buyer's regret. I was like, why'd I do it? I don't need 100 I just need one.
Yeah,
I just want to try it.
Just one makes it.
And so, yeah. This is P22. A newer Zill zinc Indo-Chinese flavored mango. This is 029.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of long growing. It's got 3 long branches. It's 029.
Is that also Zill?
That's also a Zill.
Oh, I haven't heard that one
This one is Diamond, and it's blooming a little bit off cycle.
yet. That's
Some
kind
mixed
of,
panicle.
you know, it's like the non-Dok-Mai genes. Like those type of varieties that be blooming like
Oh, just randomly?
randomly in like middle of summer, end of fall, you know. And it's supposed to be, I think, was it a carry and a non-Dok-Mai? I forgot what the other one was, but one of the parents is a non-Dok-Mai. And I have a non-Dok-Mai moon right now, and a 4 that's slightly blooming, and the moon is like a full bloom in the middle of summer.
Yeah, in the middle of the heat wave, the
Yeah.
worst heat wave of summer. But we were talking earlier that some people will poo-poo this variety and say, it tastes like a vegetable. I still think this is a good, creamy mango, has some sweetness. It's not the sweetest. There's a little vegetal taste to it, like I described it like carrot juice.
Yes.
It's still sweet, it's still pleasant, but it's not like tropical. So
It's
I do think,
interesting with the earthy taste.
yeah, I think it could go bad and then you taste some of the off flavors. But if you get it just right, I think it tastes good.
How's the texture on this? More as a carry or more as like a non-Dok-Mai?
You're using ones that I don't try very often. I'm
Like
thinking
a
like
creamier texture, or like, you know, the
more
the Thai,
creamy.
more
Just
creamy.
more
Okay,
creamy.
because you know, like some of the Asian, the Thai ones, they're a bit more like kind of firmer, more like a jelly. Like it kind of, it's not as creamy as like some of the Indian varieties. Yeah, okay,
There's
I
more
can see.
creamy.
Yeah, that's a good texture. I love those textures.
Then this is Giselle. Giselle is a graft from 2023. So this graft is only 2 years old. Right here, you see this?
Oh, okay.
And it grew like a monster. It's all of this. All of this.
Oh.
Had like 20 fruit on it. Last year it didn't flower. It just grew. So all of this growth is 1 year growth.
Wow.
And then it flowered, set a lot of fruit. Here's, I practice what I preach most of the time. I'm leaving the cracked fruit on. This is actually the tree that I noticed. Cracked fruit. I pick it. 2 days later, another cracked fruit. Pick that. And another
like
one.
the water was going
Yeah.
somewhere, it's causing it to crack.
Since then, which was June, beginning of June, this is the first cracked fruit I see.
Okay. Hopefully the rest, as long as I mean the nubbins, but as long as they make it, you know,
Yeah.
it's still tasty, so tasty.
And then here, it's finally, the tree's healthy enough, it's starting to push some vegetative growth out as well.
Yeah, I have a Giselle too, and in 2 years, it's kind of done something similar too. It's like very vigorous. Haven't had any fruit on it yet. There's like one kind of nubbin holding on, but let's see what happens with it.
This was not Phoenix. I got this from Top Tropicals.
Not Phoenix.
Yeah, it finally fruited for me last year. And it tasted good, but it's not Phoenix. So I have since grafted Phoenix on.
God.
Just a couple weeks ago. We'll see.
You know, there's so many mislabeled mango trees out there.
Yeah. But this one, I keep getting hammered with dieback. Right? Here's dieback. What I was training to be the main trunk, died back. And I got to train something else. Got to get maybe this vigorous shoot to be the main leader. So this one I've had since I first started growing mangoes.
Oh, wow.
And you can see, right, it's had sunburn, dieback year after year after year. Not as impressively growing as some of the seedlings.
Now, what's your thoughts on the dieback? Because a few friends of mine, we talked about it, and we noticed that it's tends to happen with the first thing that happens is like sunburn, and those are like the branches that tends to die back. If it doesn't get any of those sunburn towards like the end of winter, they're usually much fine, but any of the ones with the sunburn seems to have more chances of dying back. It seems like that exposure kind of maybe creates a crack in the stems, and then by winter all the fungus gets in, and then the branch die back.
Yeah, so I've heard theories that it's infectious, that it's, sunburn leads to gummosis, which then is, a fungal infection, that maybe dieback itself is maybe, what's it called? A mineral deficiency, maybe manganese, but I wonder if manganese plays a role in the immune system, so they're kind of vaguely related to each other.
Okay.
It's a good example that what we call dieback, the branches randomly dying, can happen any season.
Right? I had like grass that were like 2 years old, and then no reason it just died
The
back.
whole thing dies back.
Yeah,
It's so
no
frustrating. And you have to walk around and look because you might be able to save it. This was M4. You can see the original M4 here, which finally died back. You see that?
Yeah.
Finally died back 2 years ago. And this was the rootstock I planted next to it. And so I decided to graft over the rootstock so that every branch is going to be M4. By the time, hopefully, these grafts push 1 and 2, every branch you'll see will be M4. I picked off all the fruit this year. I want this to maybe fruit in 2 years. I want this to get big. After trying the M4 tree, the fruit, I want this to get big. This trellis here is a little bit weak right now, but in years past, this vine is so heavy and full, it shades the tree out. And so I think that that's limited the growth of it. So we kind of tried to open this up, let it get more sun. If I could get one more flush this year, I'd be happy. 2, I'd be ecstatic. And then go from there. This is the manila I was telling you about, the peach cobbler. Look, every time I graft it, just grows around the grass, right? Like an octopus.
Yeah, here's another one.
Right?
Is that?
It's growing around the grass. And so I finally got some grafts to take. This is one, the second flush. This one's taking.
And I've had rootstocks like that too. Like manila too, that are like
Stubborn.
Yeah, like really resistant to taking, and I don't really know why. And I have one tree specifically where I attempted grafting on it so many times that I just messed up the shape of it. It just looked so horrible. And finally, I had some grass that took like a couple of years ago, and it's kind of doing well.
Now it's doing well. I finally started to graft some alternatives. There's another peach cobbler that took, another peach cobbler. But here's pineapple pleasure. So I figured, let me try something new.
I had one pineapple pleasure from my tree last year. But it was a winter fruit, so it wasn't that, it wasn't that good. It tasted like a classic mango. It's kind of missing the other components that people have. And I think that happens a lot with the winter mangoes. Like the flavors is just kind of diluted.
I feel it's not necessarily winter, it's the late bloom.
The late bloom.
Right? Because then it's been on the tree, let's say you got it in June or July is when it started, so you've had 5 months or 6 months on the tree, but only 3 months in prime heat. And those are not the 3 months the fruit is really maturing, it's the beginning. Whereas you want to get the April fruit, the March fruit, so that it's like this. Look at this, my orange essence, right? Now it's hot and it's already sizing up. Or look at this one here. You see this one?
Oh yeah, you gotta put your hand right there. That looks like a keat, like a giant keat.
This is orange essence,
huge.
Right?
Yeah.
Now this is benefiting. This is growing, maturing at our peak summer season, right? That's what you want. And then you might be able to leave that on the tree until maybe that one October, maybe these ones November, right? And then it gets more flavor. I found the flavorless ones I get, they're probably the later season, like these July ones. So 2 years ago, that's when I learned I have to spray, right? I was planting more mangoes. I had done all this grafting. Everything's, finally I can pay attention to it. I'm not paying attention to figs. I'm getting the mangoes. Things are growing. And then they're all flowering. and I'm fine with it. And then like May comes along and all the blooms are black and they're dead and falling off, and I'm just losing my mind. So frustrating, and there's not much to do. So I started spraying at that point. So I got the June blooms to hold, but those fruit just didn't taste any good. We waited until like late October. They didn't taste any good. And some friends, they had a mango tasting. Same thing. They had we really didn't spray at the time. This was just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But we got like a bumper crop, like the June blooms got a good crop. At our tasting, all the bricks was like 18, 19, 21, right? We're used to 29, 30.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was like, this is because it's not ripening when it's supposed to. It's developing too late to take advantage of summer. So then last year I started spraying earlier, and I started to get really good fruit. Anyways, that's why I'm on the spraying crusade.
Yeah, get it in the season early. Yeah, because I had some fruits that hang on to like January, February, March, and they don't.
But they're not going to develop.
Yeah, they lack the flavor.
So did you go to the talk on the plant hormones? There's a guy like 2 years ago. His name was Herb.
No.
It was maybe 3 years ago, 2022. It's in the Fruit Gardener, the magazine. If you get the magazine.
Yeah, I do get.
Look it up.
Okay.
He talks about a hormone called ABA, which is what induces dormancy in trees. And so he was saying that ABA comes on with the cold, and what it does is it closes the channels, so water doesn't go into the leaves, so the leaves slowly start to die off. Right, so that's how the plants go dormant. They drop their leaves. It forces it to kind of close off, so water doesn't go in, water doesn't go out. The leaves start to shrivel, and that's probably not happening to these. That's not happening to the evergreen trees. But I wonder if when it's cold. Right, when it's cold for us, our blood vessels also close.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If it gets too cold, your hands start to turn white. Right?
That's right.
So I wonder if as it gets cold, there's less nutrition moving in. Not only less heat production from sun, but also, which is more season dependent, but in terms of cold, less water's moving up. So you're getting less nutrition moving into the fruit.
That would make absolute sense. I mean, because even if you have growth in winter, they're like pitiful. Like they're kind of like looking like they're struggling. They're like, sometimes they look like the malnutrient. Like I get yellow leaves in winter. Yeah?
So this is orange essence, and so I do have to clean up the shape. You know, you have a branch that was so big, it bent back. You see this? It bent back and fell, and now it's hardened, right?
Yeah.
So I do have to clean up the shape, but this is one of my original trees also, like the not Phoenix. This is the first time I get fruit on it. I've gotten fruit before, but they all fall in June, July. So this is the longest I've had fruit on it. And this is
Nice. Okay.
This is a big tree.
Yeah, it's a good age, good size, thick trunk too. Two rootstock next to each other?
There's a second separate rootstock that I inarched, but it didn't take. That's what this down here is. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I may top work it. I may not. But all this that you see, this is all orange essence, and it's finally starting to reach above the trellis.
Now, like on my trees, I've been like doing more like a central leader kind of shape. So I try to not let it branch until it gets to like maybe 5.5 foot, and then I begin to let it branch. I don't know, I just kind of like it better. I like the fruits kind of hanging like right in front of your face versus kind of like lower down.
Yeah, I know. That way they're not tempting the critters.
Yeah.
No, you're definitely right. You know, you have to get on it. Like this is a seedling fig tree. You can see all the growth from the base.
Yeah.
That's all just in the last couple months, right? So I have to go in, cut it. It grows somewhere else fast. Like staying on top of it gets hard.
Yeah, it's like pruning and stuff. Like I try to attempt like the chop and drop and stuff in my yard. I'm like, oh, I don't think I could do enough. I can't manage the constant pruning.
This is supposed to be my Kathy tree. This is dieback, but it's growing in the shade of this big fig tree. It's just not having it. Not happy.
Yeah, I'm sure the fig trees has an extensive root system too.
This is dieback also. You can see it always starts with shriveled leaves. And this branch is already dead. It doesn't know it, so it's 2 branches dead. So I got to cut
Wow.
down here, cut that off, and see what this does here. This is my PPK. It's also one of my first trees. It's always struggled. It only puts 1 or 2 flushes out a year, but it's making fruit. You see
Yeah.
that? Clusters.
Yeah, you got like a good like half dozen or more fruits on here.
Yeah. But you can see how small the growth is. It doesn't grow.
What do you
Very
think of
much for me.
PPK as a grower here? Does it even compare to like corn sherbet and
It doesn't.
lemon zest?
It doesn't seem to, but I did see a PPK tree at Exotica Nursery when they had it at their original location.
Yeah.
That looked like it was healthy.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a me problem, if it's a PPK problem. Is it a turpentine problem? Yeah, I told you I'm not sure I believe in that, but I don't know. This is one I haven't figured out. This is a Manila,
Oh,
right?
yeah, looks like it.
And
Bunch
you
of
see?
lemons here.
See how many grafts I tried and failed? 1, 2, right? It took and then it died. This one had so many grafts. Here's the powdery mildew.
Yeah. Some of the manila seedlings are really prone to powdery mildew. I've noticed. Not
Graft.
all of them, but out of a batch, you get some that's like really powdery mildew prone. But
So-
yeah, have you ever just thought about just doing a bark graft?
Bark graft.
Yeah.
This tree grew so well last year. It looked ugly. You see all the growth? This is all last year's growth and then this year's growth. So these 2 trees, it used to be a buttercream that the wind, Santa Ana's came and snapped it at the base. And so to replace it, I put 2 Manilas, and I was gonna graft buttercream and then creme brulee. And every buttercream and every creme brulee I put on here dies. So this has been very frustrating.
You know, I have creme brulee. I had it for like 3 years, maybe more than 3 years now. I haven't got a single fruit off of that thing. But you could have, sometimes these ones I don't want to graft. Sometimes bark graft works really well on them. Just that you are sacrificing some larger limbs, but those bark graft, from my experience, they seem to take a lot
Do well.
better. The only thing you have to worry about sometimes they grow too fast and they snap.
Oh.
Yeah. Very cool.
This is my shade structure. It looks like it fell. But we had shaded, I planted these small 1 gallons
Oh, okay.
earlier this year. And my M4 seedling right over there, you see where that stump is?
Yeah.
That was the fake ice cream. So I started to see dieback. I cut it back. I grafted on the tree, the other tree. That graft died in a week and this one died. It was already gone. But I planted the M4 seedling right next to it. And then these are just a handful of 1 gallons I got.
Okay. And you're going to get some shade on this later, right?
I had shade for the 90s, the high 90s, right? That's done now. So I'm probably just going to give it a little water and then I can remove the
Got it.
shade from it. That umbrella's there because I have that's my green sapote.
Oh,
And I have
okay.
a graft of Rogers Puerto Rican Canistel. Some people have been posting about it on the forums. I tried one of the fruit. I really liked it.
Oh, okay.
So I can show you.
Yeah, let's check it
Before
out.
we go, you see those fruit hanging?
Yeah.
That's lemon zest.
Oh,
You
nice.
see all of those?
Yeah.
That's that lemon zest tree I was telling you about. See? Nice. They're sizing up, right? Some of them are almost full size. So this is
Oh, that's
that's the Canistel grass
Oh, nice.
right here. And so it got a little bit of burn that first day when it was mid 90s, and then the last 2 days were high 90, like 98, 99. So
Are you going to remove some of the suckers around it?
I'm,
Oh, this stuff here.
this here. I worry that this will get sunburned.
Mm.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's spam. Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that's why I have this here. For this and the new tender growth. That's the main reason. Other than that, we've got lemon zest,
Yeah, that's a huge
Yeah.
fruit right here.
And I had so many more fruit. I had like 30 or 40, but a lot of them fell and split and cracked. Like, they're not this many on this side of the tree. This is where the blooms all started first. I had so many here. Just started splitting, cracking. One thing, my project for the summer, for the winter, is going to be changing out the irrigation, because right now the irrigation only goes 6 inches on either side of the tree. So I was wondering, why am I getting so many splits? Because I know it's normal to get some splits and drops, but I thought I was getting too many for such a big tree. You know, I don't know. I don't have too much experience with it, but I thought that's too many. So I wonder if the root zone is too small for such a big tree. So when the pressure comes, the roots probably only come to about here for a tree that's, you know, whose canopy comes another foot or foot and a half beyond it. So this coming summer and winter, after I pick the fruit, I'm going to make two concentric zones. Yeah.
It's always tricky with watering. Nice.
Yeah.
This looks awesome. I think your lemon zest is looking really great.
Oh, thanks.
Now, is lemon zest your hands down your favorite one?
I wouldn't say it's hands down my favorite, but it's a phenomenal one. Like, definitely one of the favorites. The nice thing is to be able to have diversity. Right, you try one thing, oh, that's fantastic, and then, you know, if you have too much of it, then you get bored of it. I see that with the figs, right? We chase so many top-tier varieties down that at some point the flavors all blend.
That's true.
So now I appreciate the ones that are different. Oh, they got this profile. The texture's different. It's a little leathery. It's juicy. It's, you know, I start to appreciate alternate flavors in it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's good.
This is my orange sherbet. And it fruited really heavily last year, so it's only got some fruit on it this year. But this has one main tree and then 3 seedlings around it. A little bit of that.
Yeah, I see the seedlings. Which one's the original tree?
The original one is, if you go around a little bit, is the one in the middle.
That one?
This one.
Oh, that one. Okay.
That's the one. If you look closely, there's an orange sherbet tag on it, like the one, the lemon zest tag. Right? So the seedlings are planted around it.
Okay. And then you just kind of start grafting over the seedlings, but also orange
I did
sherbet?
not graft over the seedlings. I left them alone.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the fruit they produce all looks the same. When I do scions, I get it from the main tree.
Yeah.
This year, I'm going to really harp down and say, okay, is it like the original or not? But so far I haven't tasted any similarities. But I just come pick from this cluster and I just call it orange sherbet. This is a what was that guy? There was like a California guy that was trying to develop California mangoes, and I think he passed away, but
Tim Thompson?
yeah, Tim. So this was one of his trees. Sometimes you're right. And I just grafted over it.
Yeah.
So I have Valkyrie, I have Seacrest, I have Mask, an Egyptian variety. I lost a tag on one graft, but this fruited heavily last year for Mask.
Okay.
It didn't do much this year. It's got a couple from this branch, but that's about it. And I think this might even be the rootstock growing.
Very cool.
And then this is a cluster of 2 or 3 seedlings. And I told you that one of the seedlings is fruited. It's this one. This is the one that I really like. You start to see the purple color developing.
Do you remember
this one here?
what it came from?
Yeah, 015 seedling.
An 015 seedling. Wow.
Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
Because this originally was an 015 tree and it died.
Yeah.
So I planted, you know, in my scheme of things is I'll plant, if I have the fruit, I'll try and plant the seed next to the original tree, like the orange sherbet.
Yeah.
And so 015 was mono, but I was like, I'll just plant it next to it. It's just easy for me to remember.
I like the 015. I had one, tried one in Florida. It kind of reminded me of like a classic mango and a half classic, half Saint Alone. Have you had the guava? Saint
Guava,
Alone? That's what it reminds me of, but that could just be me.
This one has a piney flavor,
Yes.
but it's sweet also.
Yeah,
And it's refreshing.
That piney flavor to it. That guava has.
Now this is what you're seeing in the front is that tree. It's kind of sparse. It's different growth habit than this one. This is a different seedling. It's fruited for me for the first time. The fruit are on the back. But it also has my C17, my raw honey grafts on it as well. So this other tree has done well. You can see some of those fruit hanging in the back there. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
You can go around too. Like that. And then this first one, I think it's with the N12 that doesn't want to grow. It's got a cookie OS on it. You heard of this cookie?
No.
Cookie Monster
what
Orange
is Cookie
Sherbet?
Monster Orange Sherbet? What is that?
That's the guy on the forum. I think before Orange Sherbet was released, he had a branch, or his Orange Sherbet just seemed to taste a little bit different. So it's been hard to source and get, but finally got a graft of it growing. No fruit yet, but there's that. And I have this Hando. Have you heard of Hando?
Is that one of Frank's?
Yeah. You can come from underneath and see the hanging fruit.
What is it a seedling of?
Sonpari.
Oh. Huh. The shape's a little bit longer than a sunflower, but that's interesting. Oh, wow. Does it have that strong sunflower Alfonso flavor?
This would be my first time trying it. So. Yeah, then we get into, this is a wall of seedlings. I think there are 9 or 10 seedlings in this area.
Oh, wow.
Just 2 rows of seedlings back to back. And 3 of them are sugarloaf seedlings. 2 taste like clones, and 1 is different. Still tastes very good, but is different. But I had grafted over. So this is CAC, and this is a great example of CAC doing well in Southern California. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at these in the back.
Oh, wow.
And all of this is from one branch, like one main graft. The graft is here, and it forks. This fork is giving these fruit, and the other fork are giving those, and the top is still growing. So that's CAC. This is another seedling I have. This one gave bricks of 28 last year, 27.5. This one has a kind of a classic flavor, but the flesh is really, really, really dense, really, really thick.
Very cool. Is there a reason why you grafted over your sugarloaf? You just want to get variety on it?
I got a bunch of things. It hadn't fruited yet.
And you-
I just remember I planted seedlings, so I went through, and then afterwards I found pictures of my tags, or I found the tags on the ground. So then I started going, okay, here's where I planted these, because I did them in clusters. So the sugarloaf, I had like 4 in a cluster, and 3 sprouted. I don't remember some of the others. I just remember the sugarloaf.
Very cool, man.
But I grafted over ginger. Some of those seedlings I was telling you about. So this is a Karen Michelle seedling.
Oh, yeah.
A sweet tart seedling.
I'm glad to see you experimenting with like a lot of the seedling stuff here.
Yeah, I just grafted them to try and get them to flower early and see. Some of these were holding fruit, but I pinched off the fruit because they were too small. Buttercream. This is Carla. I saw a Carla fruit that was huge, about 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds. So I took off the other fruit and I'm just letting one develop.
Nice.
I think I've got a Mampasand somewhere. This is Parson. Oh, here's a Mampasand on the fruit drop. They had a fruit on it.
Yeah, this is one of my most favorite fruit, but I've had issues with its grafts. They just don't want to grow when they just kind of die back after a couple
really?
of years. so that's why I'm trying to put on the older rootstock now.
And try and force it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another seedling, fruit punch seedling. This is coconut cream seedling. I think I have a sugarloaf seedling. Yeah, I just planted the Phoenix seedling. I just started grafting the seedlings randomly, just try and get them to. I guess that's the thing is, I
I
planted
like, I
this.
like the dense planning. I mean, does that feel like it's working better for you when they're all kind of clustered together and densely planted versus like an individual tree?
Kind of, because I have a lot of branches to work with.
Oh.
But where am I getting dieback? I'm getting it down here, this lower level. So I had a 40-17 graft that just died. Right, like I have to be on the lookout. This is another graft where I gotta make sure this gets some sun and some
It
love.
needs to be like on an outer
right?
canopy or something.
Upper,
right?
or at least have
Yeah.
to prune below. Like if you're gonna graft down here, I have to make sure that I can keep that growing.
Gotcha.
I can't just graft on any branch. I'm learning if I graft down low, but something else grows above it in a year or two, if I let it fruit, if I let it stall, it slows down, boom, next year it's dead.
Gotcha.
And so I have to keep forcing the tree to grow in the direction I want it and keep branches alive where I want them to grow.
Yeah,
So it's a constant
I
maintenance.
run into that struggle with avocados, where it's like, yeah, I can't do so. Well, also my grass has happened when I graft them all at the same time, and that has been like in terms of structure, how it looks like, has been like my favorite kind of looking trees when I just like almost like top work it all at once, and then just let that grow out, and then maybe every now and then add like a variety
To it.
Very cool.
There's this. These are some of my earliest. This was so frustrating. This was my Venus tree. It was also one of my first trees, but it would keep dying back and dying back and dying back, but it would grow. Die back, die back, die back, and grow. So finally, I didn't get dieback last year. I'm forcing it to grow up. So I think this will be successful, but it's in the shade of this weeping mulberry tree. And so you see, I have to keep cutting the mulberry tree to get this to stimulate and grow. So you'll be happy with it. This is a rootstock tree that I grafted over C17 mask. This is a C17. It's got a bunch of things on it. Main issue is growing in the shade. Right, but I will let this tree flower and fruit. This is a Muntinga, the strawberry fruit.
Yeah, okay.
Some people call it Jamaican cherry. The bees love it. It makes a ton of fruit. They taste great. I'm just going to cut it back next year because it grows so fast. So this can get another season of more growth to it.
Nice.
This is my Bombay.
Oh, okay.
So it's not splitting.
Looks nice. I got
Is that-
one single Bombay fruit on my tree too.
This is ice cream.
Ice cream.
You see the little fruit there?
Ice cream is such a, like, I had grafted ice cream like several times, and it always fizzles out on me after a couple of years. It just dies.
Yeah, I figured I've got the big ice cream tree now, so if
you
this
could-
one fizzled out, fine. This is, I think this might be my first mango tree here.
Oh.
And the original tree died, and then the rootstock grew, and I just grafted over it. So it's got, I call it Frank's lemon zest because it came from Frank's tree. You see, it's growing in the shade, but it's got a few branches putting on fruit. Oh, and this is, we'll go on. This one, if you can see the roots, this is one of Simon's experiments, a double rootstock. So you can see, if you're getting closer, you can see, this has nothing else planted. It's just,
Okay.
if you get in close, you'll see a fork to it. And it's sweet tart, but it's a sweet tart seedling. So it looks like sweet tart, produces like sweet tart, but tastes a little bit different.
How different?
I think it tastes, it's not as tart, not as sweet, but it's pleasant. This is, to me, a powerhouse producer.
Yeah, this is loaded.
Yeah.
Gosh, look at this. Look at the fruit set on this. So this is a sweet tart seedling. It's been, I'm gonna try to get a, oh my gosh, there's more fruits here.
Yeah.
Trying to get a picture of that trunk. It's kind of hard. Oh, you can kind of see it a bit, but they're pretty fused together pretty well, right?
Yeah, when I first got it, it was very obvious.
Nice. Wow, this is loaded.
Heavy, heavy, heavy producer. Got a cotton candy. So this is a kind of slowed down experiment. This is a Laverne Manila with cotton candy grafted on it. Here's the main cotton candy graft. And then it grew around it. So I started to graft on those as well. And then down there is a seedling, I forget what it is. And then I grafted cotton candy on that. So I have two side by side. And then this is a cotton candy seedling.
And are you? Is this in the ground already?
It's in ground. Yeah, I just
okay.
planted it
Okay.
last
Nice.
week.
Nice.
And then we planted it, I amended the soil, and then we found this electrical line that we accidentally cut.
Oh no.
And Kaz was telling me, oh, it's very dangerous, you know, you could have killed yourself, all these things. The line's not supposed to be there. So the electrician came by this morning. He said it's not live, not active.
Okay. It's probably like an older line or
Yeah.
some time
It's
before.
an old sprinkler line.
Oh, okay.
You can see the lemon zest back there. You see the fruits just kind of dangling.
Yeah, looks so pretty. Cool. So I think this covers most of the trees, right?
Yeah, we have a couple more. I have a coconut cream seedling over there, but it's 2 years old. I just planted it, it's still that tall. Here's a double rootstock lemon zest here. You see how big that
Oh my
lemon zest
gosh.
is? But this is
Wow.
hard for me to spray, right? I'm standing
yeah.
here spraying upwards. There's one big fruit. Come on, this is a big tree. I need to find a way to prune it for production. There's one big
You said this was a
fruit.
double rootstock? Or
Yeah,
just-
it's like the sweet tart seedling.
Yeah.
This one is the same.
Oh wow.
Big. You see those double rootstocks? They seem to work.
This is probably your tallest one, right? At least
Yeah.
the tallest one, right?
This is the tallest one.
Yeah, you gotta get some fruit
And it's
production
got
on
this
that.
heavy mandarin competing with it. This Charwell avocado, another mandarin here, another avocado on that side, and the mango's putting a good fight.
It is. Does it bloom every year?
Yeah,
I see
you can
some
see the
blooms, yeah,
dead
yeah.
blooms. Yeah, there's a big fruit hanging on it. I think we can see it.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
the
I can
other
see it
side.
from here.
Like that.
Like right there through the canopy.
Oh yeah, there it is. There. So this is these are 3 trees. This is Laverne Manila in the middle, with an Edward seedling on one side and a Namdak Mai on the other side. And I just started grafting the heck out of it. But,
It looks like you've been making grafts all year long.
uh-huh. But this one had more fruit on it, but on really small grafts. I had Angie, I had Pineapple Pleasure. I figured there was 1 or 2 others, and I just cut them all. The grafts were like that big, just a few inches long. In fact, I had a Pineapple Pleasure graft on it last year that held 2 fruit. They were huge. Little graft, like 4 inches, held 2 fruit, monsters like this. The graft, didn't wake up this year, just died back. So.
But the fruit, you had the fruit. right?
I had the fruit,
Okay.
yeah. No, it tasted
Yeah,
fantastic.
those pineapple pleasure is
Those
huge
Pineapple Pleasure.
fruits.
Yeah, big fruit. Again, I know better. You see the Namdak Mai in the back?
Oh yeah, yeah. I see.
The back cluster. This is PPK here.
Oh, this is PPK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sealing too, right? Or is it a
No,
graft?
this is graft.
This is graft.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That'd be nice.
And then I have a, let's see, there's, I think, orange sherbet fruit hanging on the side.
Oh, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was using this to just graft a bunch of stuff, hold a bunch of stuff.
Oh man, you are constantly grafting. That's very cool.
Yeah. So that's really it for the mangoes. I have a few seedlings I planted elsewhere. We're growing some new seedlings, but
I mean, this was very cool. I mean, I like the dense planting you've done, kind of putting all the rootstocks together. You experiment with the double rootstock. Both of them looks like
yeah, they're very healthy.
very healthy too. It's good to see that because I've seen people talk about double rootstock, but I've never seen how it has aged for a lot of people. But that's like really vigorous.
Yeah, I mean, and I got those. Those trees are older than the grafted trees I got from Florida.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
You mean
It's,
younger, right?
younger.
Younger,
Yeah,
yes.
they're bigger, but younger.
Younger.
Yeah, they're younger.
Yeah, they're giants
Yeah.
compared to the other
And
ones.
so it's kind of a good proof of concept. That
Yeah.
I think that idea really works. Can supercharge the trees for sure.
Awesome. I mean, I think your project looks great. I mean, this is an amazing variety of mangoes that you have in your yard, and you got a good fruit set, man. Any tips for beginners to start off on their project? Because these days everybody's getting into the mango growing.
I would say have like a two track approach. Try and plant some seeds. On the one hand, and know where your seeds came from, because if they're radiated, they're probably not going to grow very well, or if they were processed in a way that the seed's damaged, it's not going to grow very well. But you can go online and order fresh seeds from Florida or something like that too. So that's one, and then you can get yourself a grafted plant at the same time and just put them side by side. And it's not that you're going to go back and forth, you're going to just let them grow and do their own thing. And if you ever get in trouble with one, you can start to graft the other, or when it gets big enough, you can graft the other, and slowly train it. I would say patience is the key. You can't let it fruit early.
Yeah,
you have to know how they grow. You got to get it to plan for it to get 4 feet, 5 feet, and then let it fruit. I'd say that's the key. You got to be on top.
That's good. That's good tips. That's good tips. I think having a multiple approaches is like a good thing to do, and then because the time is the thing you don't want to waste, right? And if you just kind of try it one way and you fail, then you gotta restart from the beginning. Just kind of have that multiple approach, like what you've done with grafted trees and then seedlings. It's like something's got to stick eventually.
yeah. Something's got to stick, but also our growing season is so short.
Yeah.
Right. We finally have summer heat, and now you see stuff's growing. But we had a mild summer, so I think I might have gotten one flush in May with some flowers from the new grafts, and then they just sat there.
That's right. I'm thinking about it. I only had one flush of vegetation this year so far.
Yeah.
And then we're like
all of a sudden
over
now,
half.
Yeah, it's almost done. School started for some people.
Right. Oh yeah. Memorial Day is about to kind of. What? That's like another.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Labor Day, yes. Labor Day is coming up.
My kids start class on Tuesday. Some people started a week or two ago, right? Like for the kids, summer's over.
Yeah.
We finally had summer heat, and now we're getting flushes. Now things are flushing. So.
Cool.
So you have to know the season, know how it works, and make it work for you.
Right. Well, thanks so much, Khaled, for sharing your experience on this. I think everybody would be impressed to see this yard. It's amazing. And it hasn't been that long too, right? I mean, you said you started at 7 years, 8 years at best?
We bought this. We started planting around 2018. Like I started to buy plants in pots. So when I first had mango trees, I had 30, but they were in pots. And they were flowering the first year, but I didn't really expect much out of it. I had one kit tree that held fruit, and the fruit tasted pretty good, and then it had dieback. Right? So, and then the next year, March, out of the 30 trees, I can't remember if 10 died or 20 died, but it was the number 10 just stuck out to me. So I can remember if 10 died or 20 died, but a lot died, like a significant amount died. And that was my first introduction to dieback. And then I have a mango tree that I had on the side just a good learning lesson. It was in partial shade, so it get sun half the day, and then because on the east side of the house, I didn't water it at all between basically since last September through maybe May. I didn't water it at all. It was left to its own devices in the pot. It was doing fine.
Wow.
So I think mangoes are a lot more hardy than we make them out to be.
They definitely are able to stand drought from what I've seen. I water mine quite frequently, but I was seeing I have some where I don't water, and they just like do fine also. So they kind of they could do well as long as they're healthy. They do well without water.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Khaled. Thanks for spending your time and sharing your knowledge with the audience here, and hopefully everything ripens and we'll see everything goes well.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome.